Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Newsburst Live. I am Chris McLeod, aka Diagnostic 80, and this is obviously brought to you by GeneralsJoesReborn.com. Shout out Justin Bell, you saw my hood out. Here we go. I thought I'd dress appropriately today. Lots of news already today, and I knew that I wasn't going to be able to get to it tonight because I've got so much to do for the weekly tomorrow. We've got the weekly tomorrow. We've got the reactions to the panel for PulseCon. There's so much going on that I thought, you know what, I'm just going to get at it today as early as I possibly could. I was actually going to do the higher news much earlier in the day, and I got busy with other things, and then thankfully I didn't, because then there was a huge bit of news that Thew, big shout out to Thew, dropped on the PulseCon pre-show. So we've got a lot to really kind of discuss and get stuck into. We're going to start off with higher news first, of course. Thanks to everyone that's jumping on already. I know it's an odd time of day to be doing this. You can always watch it after the fact. I thought I'd do it just after PulseCon pre-show, just prior to Pulse. So this won't be a very long one, because obviously I want to go and check out PulseCon as well for most of the day. And then we've got some amazing content for you tomorrow. My goodness. First off, Pat and I were going to be doing the weekly. It's episode 100. Nothing really special. It's just the weekly as normal, but we're going to have nice new graphics, nice shiny graphics, courtesy of Brian Sauer, to celebrate our 100th episode of the weekly. And then obviously we'll have the G.I. Joe panel. And then as soon as we can go after that, Pat and I will be back again to give you our reactions to all of the great reveals and the show. So like, for those of you guys, like I said, I'm sorry it's in the middle of the day. I apologize, but thanks for jumping on anyway. Really appreciate all the comments and everything. Like I said, you can always watch this after the fact. It's no big deal. But let's get stuck into the news and talk the news. Okay, stop saying news. Let's start off then, obviously, with Hiya Toys. Now, they revealed Storm Shadow like 3 in the morning my time, and I was up at that point, but I just hadn't checked my phone or like what was going on. And then obviously when I woke up again, a few hours later, it was everywhere, and everyone was talking about this new Hiya Toys Storm Shadow reveal, which is really cool. Now, obviously, it's had kind of a bit of a mixed reception, because this is obviously the design that focuses very closely on his original classified kind of design, which popped up on the website, Operation Blackout, multiple other media kind of platforms, kind of almost like everywhere you see like classified design stuff early on, that Storm Shadow was there, wasn't he, with the kind of the mask, the different kind of masks set up, the gauntlets and all that stuff. But anyway, let's have a look at the figure itself. Absolutely gorgeous. A few questions coming in at the moment. Hello, guys. Again, thanks to everybody for jumping on. Sorry, Doug, that you've got to go to a work meeting. That sucks. Action J says, when do you think we'll be able to order Hiya locally in US? Well, like I said on, I think, last week's weekly, basically I contacted Hiya Toys and asked them, was there any intention to have a US distributor or rest of the world distributor, because it's Asia only market. And they said to keep an eye on diamond distribution. So I would be very confused as to why they would say that if that wasn't the case. They could always just say no, couldn't they? So eventually we will find out, Action J. At the moment, it's still very much we don't really know. Thanks for this, Matt. Matt says, GameStop is having a massive clearance sale, 20% off just about everything and 50% off the label on clearance items. Wow. Okay. Absolutely. Go check that out, guys. Good shout, actually, Anonymous Dude 123. Love to Florida and South Carolina, going through it at the moment. To all our friends and everybody we know in that area of the world right now, it's kind of sucky. And yeah, hopefully you'll react well, bounce back, basically. Yeah, what can we do other than just say we're thinking of you guys? Di excuse me. We got? Wow, a lot of great news. Shout out from Brazil. I want to say Di Joe or Dii Joe. Anyway, thanks for watching all the way from Brazil. That's amazing. Tac has said, I wonder if this design might make it into classified. I don't know. I kind of feel like the, sorry, I'll keep that up on the screen. I kind of feel like it's the, what's the word? What was I trying to say then before I was rudely interrupted by myself, by my own thoughts? I don't think, hang on, I just have to do a little bit of, what's the word? Multitasking, which I'm terrible at. There we go. Okay, right. Yes, so Tac Toys, I think the kind of ship has sailed on this particular design in classified. And I think what we're getting is, this design is being kind of brought back to life a little bit within the Hiya Toys kind of side. I'm not saying it's never going to happen because I don't know that. But I don't know. I think I would have to probably say I wouldn't expect to see it, honestly. In classified, it might happen. You never know. The other thing I was going to mention on that side of things is obviously we've seen this in so many different kind of like aspects of the media, haven't we? We've even seen it in toy form to a degree. We've seen it kind of with a little bit of kind of bits and pieces kind of build in that Titan figure, that kind of 9.5-inch Titan figure. And yeah, and so like this one is kind of like, this is like the actual figure now of the website design. Clearly, like everything about it is that website kind of artwork and everything. I kind of dug it, and I would have been cool with the tattoo one. I think that tattoo would have been dope. Again, I think a lot of people are going to customize this one and put like a tattoo tampo on there because I think it would look amazing. But yeah, Anonymous Dude, you say you love the mask. Funny enough, I haven't seen many people. Most people are kind of complaining about the mask, so it's nice to see that some people do actually like it. And also, obviously, I know it's not like a massive. I know it's not like a massively not positive, but I know it's not like everyone should love this figure at all. I mean, I'm kind of like, cool, we get one, but like at the same time, I'm not like crazy calling out for this particular Storm Shadow. Again, I think it would have been cool in the classified line. I would have been even cooler with the tattoo. But hey, this is pretty cool. We are getting one. Anyway, a couple of beautiful shots they threw in there as well. Some awesome product shots. Feet look a little big, don't they? And the legs look quite skinny. Again, similar to the Snake Eyes figure. Again, it's the style and everything. So I think I still think they look really good as figures in this scale. The swords look massive, though, don't they? And the sheaths, they really do look massive. I wonder if that's going to change at all in the kind of like to the final figure, like the production figure itself. A couple of other good shots here showing the kind of hood up hood, the hood up hood, which is pretty cool. Very much like the Storm Shadow we have currently in the classified series. He's got obviously the secondary cross strap with the shuriken on it. I'm not sure if they're removable. I don't think they are. And the secondary belt as well with that kind of like, the cloth pieces kind of coming out the front. I do like the design. I think it's very, very awesome. And it's a nice one for Storm Shadow. I think it's really striking. Like I said, I know a lot of people don't like the kind of bright, kind of chromy, almost like mask pieces and gauntlets and everything. But I definitely have to say, I think it gives him a very cool vibe, and I'm down for it. Yeah, obviously the bow as well, which is pretty cool. I wouldn't say it's not necessarily a compound bow, but it's like more complex than a standard bow, I guess. I don't know what the technical term for that particular bow is, but I really I do like the look of it. I think it's quite cool. It's quite clean. Obviously, my preference is that amazing compound bow that the version 2 came with, that had the version 2 original Storm Shadow, that had all of those like intricate details all over it and lots of stuff going on, like the kind of pulley system with like multiple strings, and it's just awesome. It's true, Jim. Actually, that's a very good point. You can't please everyone. It's a good update to a classic. I agree with that. Yes. And Jim said it's a recurve bow. Thank you very much. That was the word I was looking for, I think, and I just couldn't remember it. But thank you so much. Doug Dello says, I like this design. Has some cool differences that make it pop a bit more than the one we got. Absolutely. It kind of it's both very distant and very close to the original design, isn't it? It's quite weird how they've managed to do that. Yeah, this is a 4-inch figure, not 375 technically. 105 mil is what they're saying, which is just over 4 inches actually. Hello, Luc Poulon. Okay, so yeah, again, some great shots of the actual figure. I really like it. And again, another cool shot there to finish off with him holding one of the arrows. 3 arrows in a quiver as well. I like that touch. Very nice. And the whole accessory loadout, we can see again. There's some lovely white background kind of shots as well to get more of a clear, get the details a bit clearer, and the silhouette of him as well, which really looks good. Really nice stuff. Again, we've already talked about this. Again, a bit close-up details. I think these are this is very early production sample, or not production sample. This is very early, probably like I would imagine some like printed, like paint master or something. I don't know the where we are technically in the process here, but I don't think it's the final countdown, as it were. I think there's going to be a lot more smoother kind of finishes and stuff like that. So even though they show a lot of close-up details, I think they'll probably be a bit better in hand. Hello, James. Do I feel Serpentor anxiety settling in? Good luck, everyone, tomorrow. Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a little bit of that. But I think if you're on it at the point of where it's available, well, for premium members anyway, I'm concerned it won't get to regular members of Pulse, because that is the sucky thing about that, is that it's always like, oh yeah, it's going to be for an hour. It's going to be like, premium members are going to get the heads up on this, but then it's sold out in like half an hour. And I always expect them to drop another load of pre-orders at 6 for non-members, and it never happens. So like I've always been really confused about that. So effectively, yeah, it just sells out fast, doesn't it? So good luck, everybody. And for those that aren't bothering because of the whole scenario, I understand. Jim Smith, that's why we like Chris. He's our English friend to convert metric. Yes, Tom, we'll be talking about that in a moment, buddy. About the PulseCon pre-show reveals. Thanks to Thew. Thew did an amazing job, by the way. That was amazing. I've been watching Thew for years now. Good friends with him. We've gone to TF Nation and Auto Assembly in the past. That's where I met him for the first time. Really nice guy in person, and just a solid dude. And I'm so happy for him to be able to get like an opportunity to do something as cool as that. Fly out, I think, to California. I think he did, in a studio, and do a live show. I mean, unbelievably cool. So anyway, we'll come to that in a moment. We're still talking about Storm Shadow here. So yeah, some nice details on this one, and small Cobra logo there, isn't it? Anyway, that's kind of irrelevant, really. It's a different version of Storm Shadow. It's not like we're getting something. I say a different version. It's a version we're aware of, but not the original style that we're kind of a lot of people hanker for. RKW, I'll try and finish this soon, buddy, because I know D&D pre-orders go up soon. But yeah, I just wanted to get this out in between the kind of the slow period of the day between PulseCon pre-show and PulseCon itself. Also, yeah, he shows the 105 mil size figure, aka just over 4 inches. All of his loadout as well. He gets alternate hands, the hood-up hood piece, the recurve bow, the quiver backpack, 3 arrows, 2 different size swords, 2 different size sheaths for those swords, and that dio piece that would connect with Snake Eyes' dio piece as well, which is brilliant. Love that. The question for me here at this point would be, where do they go next? And are they going anywhere next? Or do they just want to churn out Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow and call it a day? I suppose like time will tell, sales will tell. The fact that it's only Asia at the moment and there's no distribution in the rest of the world makes me wonder how they're going to do that. One thing I will say, though, is I know a few people that have ordered on Hobby Link Japan. Is it Hobby Link Japan? Yeah, I think it is Hobby Link Japan. And they ordered the Snake Eyes figure, and there's a little note saying they will be cancelled if it's not in the Asia territory, and nothing has happened yet. They haven't had their order cancelled. So it probably will happen eventually. But just to say, if you have ordered one on Hobby Link Japan, it's like looking at the moment like they haven't cancelled those orders. And I would imagine they would have to do that at some point. Adam says, I honestly think there will be plenty of Serpentors to go around. Hasbro needs a PR win. Yeah, definitely. But like, at what point do they make that decision to, could it be that Serpentor's the last of the, the created in a certain amount of figures, if you know what I mean, Adam? And that we might have to wait till the next one next year before we get even more, numbers. Who knows? We'll see, I guess. We'll see. I hope so. I hope we do. Big old hobbit feet on him, says Snake Criskin. And it's me. It's another parody account that I swear I did not. I like that one. That's a good one. That's Snake Criskin. I do like that. That's a good one. And I is that isn't me now, is it? That's from a different image. It's great. I love the parody accounts. Keep them coming. Like I said, as long as they're not offensive and not being really horrible to me or people I love, then I'm always gonna enjoy it. Jason has asked, is that a Predator base? So see, I'm unaware of this one, Jason. It might be that they reuse the kind of similar base stands across all of their figure lines, which would make a lot of sense. It's a Dio piece at the end of the day. It's not specific to any particular area that they're fighting, or so it could very well be, or it could be a slight variation on what comes with the Predator. But I don't. I'll have to have a look at that, Jason. But thanks for pointing that out. I will definitely have a look to see if they do carry those across all of their different figure lines. I know they do kind of Dio stands, but I wasn't sure if they were just all the same, which is totally cool. I mean, it's a stand at the end of the day, and it's going to, that makes sense for it to be the same, isn't it? Like Eric here, not crazy about his mask, probably a pass for me, and that's totally fine, Eric. I get that too. You're not the only person that said that. I was surprised actually when I can't remember who it was. Sorry, it was minutes ago now. Mentioned that they enjoyed the mask, which is, again, it's cool. That size would fit perfectly in your display case, Renegade Biker. Yeah, get it, buy it then. Phil says, and hi Phil, they did make a second run of the PulseCon Cobra Commander to meet demand. That's a good point, Phil. And there's always that option, isn't there? There's always that kind of like, maybe they could just do a second run and churn it out. I'm not sure how easy it would be for Serpentor with Air Chariot compared to Cobra Commander, though. But I get what you're saying, and there's that definite possibility. Adam says, Mindbender was pretty easy to get. Wouldn't Serpentor be made in similar quantities? Yeah, he was and he wasn't, Adam. I think more people definitely got in on Mindbender than they did than people got in on previous. Definitely, I agree with that 100%. I think I'm just concerned about that hour period that all premium members have going then into non-premium members. That's my only concern. I am a premium member, so I will hopefully be able to order that, as soon as it pops up. Snake Criskin, nice variant. He looks so cool. It's cooler than me. Jim says the box for Coco is more intricate than an Air Chariot. Yeah, true, absolutely. So even if the figure and vehicle and all that kind of stuff's more complex, Cobra Commander's box was more had a lot more kind of going on, engineering and kind of stuff like that. Yeah, good point. Okay. I will move on then, because we have a little bit more news to share with you guys, and that is about PulseCon. Yes, so I should also add links in the description for any more information on that Storm Shadow we just did, and of course for the PulseCon pre-show, which you can watch right now on YouTube. So first off, big shout out to Thew, who did an amazing job. If you don't watch Thew's Transformers reviews and you're not following Thew's channel, Toy Grind on Twitter and like on YouTube, just search Thew Transformers. You'll find him if you're into that thing. He's one of my favorite YouTubers, I have to admit. And no matter what happens, when a video of his pops up on my subscription on YouTube, when I get the notification, I have to stop everything I'm doing and just watch it, unless obviously I'm in the middle of a recording. But that hasn't happened yet. So one of those things. Oh, cool. Jeremy Kimblin says, Hasbro Pulse has his 788 shirt available at the moment. Cool. Go check it out. Go enjoy that. Thank you, Jeremy, for letting us know. Ryan says, not sure if anyone has made this joke yet, but I hope next year's PulseCon exclusive is the Listen and Fun Tripwire with a digital download of Emily and Lenny reading Joe fan fiction. That would be amazing. Jamie Vaughan says, I sadly missed Mindbender and I have to start my sat shift right at the time Serpentor goes live. Lol. Going to do my best as I'm now a premium member, which should help. Yeah, as long as you're getting in the first like 5-10 minutes, Jamie, you should be all right, he says. Tags, not a premium member. Hopefully there'll be a few left. I know it's one of those things, isn't it, guys? Okay. So this is the news. So big shout out to Thew, did an amazing job on that live pre-show. So much fun as well. He's great as well, brilliant presenter, and basically dropped some amazing breaking news on us. So here's Thew in his in his neon tunnel, basically just giving us some GI Joe love. And like I said, we've met Thew in the past. We've hung out with him. He's a really nice guy. And like I said, great. If you don't follow him on, and you're a Transformers fan, then you need to. And I'd be surprised if you weren't, honestly. And he revealed that Hawk will be first up. He went on a whole description of Clayton M. Abernathy and all of basically his file card. I think he had to read out pretty much. And then dropped that Hawk is going to be joining the classified series. Now, I personally hope it's version 2. Because I think version 1's just a little bit bland, but also I think they might save that for like the MMS or something along those lines if they ever release another Hawk in the future in a different style to kind of maybe finish off the OG 13 or whatever. I really do hope though it's V2 Hawk, because that for me is the most iconic one. Then of course you've got the amazing Jetpack Hawk. That is fantastic as well, honestly. And if they did that one, wow, I think I'd go crazy. But yeah, I think V2 would be a good one for everyone to do for them to do first. And of course, Tripwire, Tormod S. Skoog said Thew on the channel, which was rather hilarious. But yeah, he also revealed Tripwire. Had you been a patron of our show, you'd have found out about this earlier in the week, actually. We knew about Tripwire coming, and we did a Patreon special Intel episode on it. So if you are a Patreon for the SAS or Red Shadow Army, then you'd have known about this one. We even kind of also hinted a little bit about Hawk, but we weren't 100% sure on that one. So it's nice, though, that both of them are fully revealed, in name only, obviously. But then maybe we'll get a little bit more kind of, they'll probably fill in a few more details tomorrow. That panel is at 1:15, remember? And just another recap quickly of what we're doing tomorrow. It's the weekly as normal. Well, it's the 100th episode of the weekly. Good timing on the weekend, isn't it? At 10 a.m. with EST with myself and Pat. And then we'll have a break after that episode, after that particular episode has been and gone live. And we will break and then until after the panel is finished, roughly probably around 2 or 2:15, but we'll still have to get like graphics together and stuff like that. So we probably won't be going live until about like 2:30, 2:45. And then we'll probably do another like hour and a half or something on the reveals. And then, then that'll be the day. And then I'll collapse and Pat will stop talking to me for years, and that'll be the end of the full force. I'm kidding. So yeah, that'll be us tomorrow. So yeah, what I also really enjoyed about these particular reveals, you could almost argue that Hawk could be done in Tiger Force, couldn't you? With that Tiger Force Hawk Zartan club, kind of like Zartan morphing into Hawk kind of 3-pack or whatever it was. Such a weird idea. I like it, but then they threw it. They made it Tiger Force as well, which really threw another spanner in the works, but in a good way. Does that make sense? But then Tripwire Tiger Force as well. So there's that reuse potential here, repaint reuse potential. So I'm really excited about that. What we got going on here? Sorry, I've missed a lot of comments, but only because I needed to get that information out. I haven't seen your latest post, Renegade Biker. I will have a look in a second. Yeah, Eric says, thinking Hawk will be V2, hoping V1 will come with the MMS. Yeah, absolutely agree on that. I hope he's deluxe when we get an MMS. Well, that's a good shout, Jim, actually. That's a possibility, isn't it? There's a definite possibility there for that to be the case. I'm just throwing these images up because these are the ones I want to see. Do you know what I mean? What we got going on? Sorry, I think I'm getting through everything here. Neon Tunnel. People enjoyed that one. Oh, that sucks, Jim. I feel his pain. I'm DJing a wedding and supposed to be announcing the wedding party when sales go live tomorrow. Man, that's going to be some epic multitasking. Microphone in one hand, phone in the other. And here we have Mr. and Mrs. Hang on, wait. Got it. Oh, thank goodness. Sorry, I just had to order Serpentor. Mr. and Mrs. Skoog. I don't know what their names are, but I thought, there you go, Tripwire's getting married. That's awesome, Jim. Good luck, though, mate. Really good luck with that, because I would not want to be in your position doing that tomorrow when Serpentor's going up. Ryan says, you don't have to say that apologetically, Chris. The original Hawk is the most boring Joe ever made. I know, but some people are into it because they have that nostalgia. And I don't dislike the figure, but there is I feel that way quite a lot about some of the OG 13 figures. There is in some cases there's they just get a little bit repetitive. But yeah, I still would love that figure in the classified scale, oddly enough. Ed Badaluca loves Bomber Jacket Hawk, but even though you censored that, I'm not going to put it up on screen, Ed. V1 was the most subtle leader release in toy history. Exactly. I know that's how it felt. Luke says, now that Tripwire is announced, does it give you more hope that they will release Lightfoot? Not really. I think Lightfoot would probably be a long way off, honestly. And I'm not going to complain, because I've had some some of my favorite figures done so far in, Tiger Force Outback. Who else is in there? Flint. There's loads that they've done. I think they're all great. But the fact that they might not get to Lightfoot. They might in time, and it would be one hell of a figure. But you'd have to be a bit deluxe-y, I think. And it's difficult. It's a difficult sell on a character that is so far down the kind of popularity ladder. Oh, and Phil says, for Americans, a spanner is a wrench. Threw a spanner in the works. Threw a wrench in the works. There you go. That's what I said. I said spanner in the works, and yeah, there you go. Thank you, Phil. Yeah, Ed, if Pat needs a vacation, you could make a Patreon pledge level for a fill-in co-host. We have plenty of co-hosts. It's just availability is usually the issue. Toy Bounty Hunter says, Hawk and Tripwire announced and got my BBTS order last night. 4 Crimson Guards and 2 Cobra Island Troopers, and PulseCon hasn't even truly started yet. It hasn't even technically started yet. We've still got a few minutes before it actually kicks off officially. But yeah, Toy Bounty Hunter, very happy you got all that sorted. Eric Ferg says, would love for Tripwire to draw from either of his IDW iterations. The Hearts and Minds Max Brooks series Tripwire looked like Jeremy Renner from Hurt Locker. Chuck Dixon version with night vision. Yeah, I remember that, Eric. Yeah, because Tripwire was being utilized almost like as an actual kind of like infantry in Chuck Dixon's, wasn't he? And then in Max Brooks's, yeah, it was that Hearts and Minds comic was very Hurt Lockery with the big gear on and everything. I would imagine they'd go very, very vintage kind of original, because, for example, Eric, look at the kind of pushback they had on Firefly, and I imagine Firefly is going to get, we know Firefly is going to get another version done, isn't he? Probably to go closer to his original styling. But no, good point there, Eric, and some very good mentions of those 2 particular Tripwire versions. I want repaints, though, of Tiger Force, Listen and Fun, and Fun School, because they're some of the most incredible repaints. Oh, and Blade, so I always forget, and I shouldn't forget, should I really? Toy Bounce says, I don't know about Hawk being the most boring figure ever made. The Razorback driver isn't exactly Mr. Exciting, Wild Boar, more like Wild Boar. I get it. Mate, there are plenty of... There's a few contenders for most boring. I would also say Armadillo is quite bland as well, and probably blander than Wild Boar. But yeah, we should do a whole episode of the blandest figures in G.I. Joe history. Let's do that. We'll do that in a few monthlies time. Yes, Jim, this is kind of right. So you said they barely touched anything after 87 unless it's been a Tiger Force or Python Patrol repaint. And you know kind of the reason for that, though. You know, it's been one of those things where they were kind of doing it like upgraded kind of designs. Then it was like, you know, the kind of retracting that kind of design aesthetic and going back to basics. But then I think they see a lot of comments, they see a lot of feedback that want particular figures and characters. And unfortunately, there's a lot of them, Big Ben notwithstanding. And well, there's a few, isn't there? But like, you're right. It's like they don't really go past 87 at the moment. Give it time, though. Give it time, Jim. 100% on that one. But I agree with you. They haven't. They really haven't. Adam says my issue with Firefly was the bulky flak jacket. As I was mentioning, yeah, Adam, to whoever mentioned that before. We were talking Toy Bounty Hunter. No, who was it about? Oh, it was Eric. Sorry, Eric Ferg. Yeah, that's what my point was. That, you know, if they gave Tripwire like huge bulky gear, it would be cool. But, you know, you'd probably get the same pushback that the Firefly did. I'd love a Tiger Force Tripwire, Aaron. Yeah, me too. Jim Smith is definitely Fun School with Bomb Squad on his chest, 100%. Oh, I missed the Chuckle Flowers. Got to wait until next summer. Lol. Well, this is a news burst. We're doing, and tomorrow on the weekly, sorry, Anonymous Dude, on the weekly tomorrow, we're going to be doing slightly different graphics, only for one episode, and then we change theme going into fall next week. So I've been keeping Brian Sauer very busy over the last week or so. It's ever since we've been doing this, I've been keeping him busy. But yes, Anonymous, I did like the Chuckles theme. I thought that was great. Aaron E. Nichols says, General Hawk was my first Joes. I love the 86 Joes. He would make an awesome classified figure. He totally would. Adam says, I like the idea of being able to get a co-host chance, do a raffle for charity. We'll see. We'll see how that one goes, guys. It's always a bit dangerous. I don't know who I'm talking to half the time. You know what I mean? Matthew says Armadillo wins the boring contest. Okay, we'll run the numbers on that one, Matthew, and we'll see what the deal is. Ed says Battlecore Heat Viper was a snooze of a design. Neon green and black are a great color combo, but he's still wearing a t-shirt and pirate boots. Yeah, there's a few. We'll definitely do that at some point. Phil says, I want Battlecore Duke, Ace, and Beachhead, but no one ever updates those. That's true, actually. They don't, do they? And there's some good ones in there too. And not just those. Those are great. In actual fact, Emily's mentioned how much she loves that Beachhead figure, Phil. So you know you're probably not far off actually getting a figure like that at some point. I love a V2 Stalker, Adam. I would love a V2 Stalker, 100%. Okay, Toy Bounty Hunters asks, what figs are you hoping to hear announcements for? Still hoping for Quick Kick, Alpine, Chuckles, Jinx, Night Viper, Techno Viper, and Hydro Viper. Blimey, Toy Bounty Hunter. I will go along with you and say those ones because you're pretty much speaking my language with a lot of those options. Quick Kick was him and Flint were my first ever International Heroes figures. So definitely Quick Kick on that one. Chuckles as well. Alpine would be great. Jinx would be amazing and have the Tiger Force crossover capability. Night Viper would be superb. Techno Viper would be superb. And Hydra Viper is the best ever Cobra figure ever. So yeah, good shouts on all of those, Toy Bounty Hunter. I will mirror those and maybe throw in Lightfoot, obviously, for obvious reasons. And Hit and Run. Tiger Force Hit and Run. I want Tiger Force Hit and Run, guys. V3 Hawk would be dope, Jeremy. Trust me. V3 Hawk is awesome, and you're not the only one. Many reasons, definitely. Eric is hoping for Dr. Venom, Quinn, and Scarface. Some good ones there. Dr. Venom might be a good possibility in the future, especially if they want to do like a brainwave scanner or something. That would be wicked, wouldn't it? As like a kind of deluxe kind of thing. Falcon and Jinx. Well, Falcon's coming. You'll probably be pre-ordering him tomorrow. Ominous Prime reviews. But Jinx, I couldn't imagine Jinx would be too far behind, honestly. Chuckles, Bees, Battleground. Yeah, there is a bit of a swell of need for Chuckles, and definitely think that should be coming. Okay, guys. Thanks for getting all your comments in. We're going to call it a day though, because we've only got 5 minutes before I think before the next PulseCon thing kicks off. So I just wanted, well, first off, let's do this. I just wanted to cover my bases, make sure I'd got a couple of, a news burst out that covered a couple of these things. And hopefully I won't have to do more tonight, but you never know. If anything else does, like, news happen or whatever before before tomorrow is what I'm trying to work out, then it'll all just go into the weekly and we'll discuss it in the weekly in the morning. So I will see you guys on there. Thank you everybody for jumping in and getting all your comments in. Really, really appreciate it. So for those that have only just joined, or whatever reason you've just appeared here, we talked about Hiya Toys. Storm Shadow was revealed earlier this morning. And any other information you can go and find. We posted it on all of our platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. So you can go and check out all those for links and stuff to these things. There's no pre-order yet, obviously, for Storm Shadow. But lots of cool images to kind of, enjoy. And also the great, amazing news that Thew, who just did the PulseCon pre-show, dropped name reveals only for Classified Hawk and Tripwire. Very excited about that, and cannot wait for tomorrow now. So fingers crossed for an amazing PulseCon. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 10 a.m. at EST. If you don't watch that and you only watch the reaction video, then I'll see you sometime around 2:30 or 2:45 when we Pat and I do our response reaction to the reveals. So have a brilliant rest of your day, guys. Stay fresh, cheese bags. And after 3, you know what to do. After 3, 1, 2, 3, full force. See you tomorrow.
That's it for this installment of the Full Force News Burst. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe. See you next time, and as always, full force. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos, and as always you can keep up with the show after listening by following on Twitter at The Full Force, liking the Facebook page facebook.com/The Full Force, and if you would like to contact the show you can message us on either of those platforms with feedback and questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/The Full Force Podcast, or click on the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.